is working and being busy, but not knowing if you're moving in the right direction. So again, don't out yourself in the comments, but if this resonates with you, nod your head, accept that. And that's the thing is you're in the right place. Everybody's going to have this experience at some point. You're in the right place, and this is where we're going to give you that direction and that simple system to be able to follow. And again, it's just these three steps: enroll, retain, duplicate. These are the three main activities that USANA pays you as the brand partners to do. Enroll, share USANA with new people. Retain, help them stay, get on subscribe and save, help them reach their goals. And then duplicate, show them how to do the exact same thing that you do with your own people. Okay. Now you see it underneath the cycle in the middle there, we say repeat every 90 days. Why do you think we say 90 days? You can say it in the chat if you want to. I'm just going to give you the answer. But here's the 90-day rule. And this is something that you hear in marketing. It's something that we hear a lot of in our industry is the activities that we're doing now, we don't necessarily see the results from those activities right away, right? We're used to that. If you have a regular 9 to 5, you do something, you see the results of it. You go to school, you do something, you see the results of it. You get the grade of the homework you just turned in. Everything is really immediate. But within this industry and within marketing, you start to put something out there, and generally there's like a 90-day cycle of, you don't know if this is really going to be super effective until that time. You might see some immediate results, but really in the long run, that 90-day cycle, that 90-day rule is where you really see if what you're doing is working and having a positive impact in the way that you want it to go. So we start off, and in USANA, we start off with the Pacesetter program. The Pacesetter is somebody's first 90 days. So it really fits really well. The first 90 days and then 90-day cycles after that, ongoing, on and on and on and on and on. And as you do this and you're consistent with it, this is where you can start to see those results. Okay. Enroll, retain, duplicate. Remember those three words. Those are going to be common throughout the rest of this evening. So here's kind of the gap that we see in the field. Now, most people, when they come in as a product user. Okay? That's the reality of things. They come in as a product user and we have amazing products, so I don't blame them. And then as they start to take the products, many people, a vast majority of people fall in love with the products. And when I say too few become brand partners, what I mean is somebody could join as a brand partner and still be kind of a customer, right? They're not necessarily going out and building the business. They're not talking to people. They're not doing the enrollment. And so what happens is this funnel grows small where really there's only a trickle of true enrolling business building brand partners. And this isn't just with USANA. There was a research that was done like industry wide in 2022 that found that, I'm just going to use this broad, 75% of brand partners or consultants or whatever they're called in all the various companies, but 75% of brand partners enroll 0 people in their lifetime. 15% sponsor 1 to 2. So when we look at those two numbers, 90% of people who are in USANA, in the industry, are sponsoring 1 to 2 people in their lifetime. Okay, so why does this happen? It's because the business conversations, they're not happening. People are comfortable talking about the products, and then maybe they just freeze on the opportunity. So every person who stops at the product is a conversation that never happened, an opportunity that never got shared. And this isn't about pushing, the business on everybody. It's not going to be for everybody, but it's about recognizing that if we only talk about product usage, that some people may never realize that there's also that income opportunity attached to the experience that they already value. So that's where the gap is, right? They have the good products. Maybe they don't know that there's this business side. But here, this gap is fixable. It's fixable. So this is where I want you to participate. Now, I don't want you to necessarily say this is what I'm experiencing unless you want to. But we talked about how that conversation isn't happening. The business opportunity is there. Conversation isn't happening. Why do you think those conversations are not happening? So when I say why it happens, what I mean is why isn't it happening? Why is the conversation not happening? Why is that occurring? I have some ideas, but I want to see in the comments. I want to see what you think. And Paula, I know you said this a little while ago. Direction is all what we need. We want to. Direction is what we all need to not feel isolated doing the business alone. Yeah. Jillian, fear of rejection. Yeah, that's a great one. Some are shy. Fear rejection. Yes. Fear. People don't want to get into the sales activities, feeling unclear, and an element such as comp plan. These are great. A lot of BPs don't have a strong belief in the industry. Business makes people think they're not capable, fear of the unknown, fear of judgment, training. So I'm seeing a lot of fear. I see some unclarity, maybe easier to talk health over wealth, no skills, life and circumstances. These are all great answers. Yeah. I'm going to say these are, some of you have already mentioned these, but I'm going to kind of narrow it down to maybe three specific ones that are kind of more generic that maybe catch a lot of these. First, I would say lack of clarity. Someone said they don't know the compensation plan, right? They don't know exactly how to approach that. And this is where a lot of people do get stuck. Most people, they don't stall because they're lazy or because they're not able to do it. They're just not clear. Not clear about who to talk to, not clear about how to start the business conversation. Maybe it's not even knowing what to do if somebody shows interest. Oh, somebody wants to do this. What do I do now, right? So that those are all possibilities. So lack of clarity is one major one. Fear of the conversation. A lot of people mentioned it. Fear of rejection, fear of sounding pushy or sounding salesy. Saying a lot of reasons to have that, but fear of the conversation. We're scared to have that conversation. Let's see. All right, and then the third one is no simple system to duplicate. And I think this kind of ties into what Michael just said, lack of belief as well. I just got a message, my audio is spotty. I also got a message that my internet is unstable. So hopefully I'm clearing up. If I'm coming through okay, just give me like a thumbs up and let me know. Hopefully I stay here. Okay, looks like I'm clear now. All right, no simple system to duplicate. So you can get motivated, you can get out and you can talk to people, but how do you know? It's that fear of what do you say when they're interested, right? What do you do next? That new person needs to have that simple system to be able to duplicate it. And the sponsor needs to have that guide to help that new brand partner be able to earn quickly, efficiently, and have that system. So that's why this whole system and this whole session matters. We're not trying to make the business more complicated. We're here to make it more simple, clearer, and easier to repeat. Because when clarity goes up, then fear goes down. And when the system is simple, then duplication becomes possible. Okay. Well, I think let's see. Yeah, just what I just said. Underneath all of it, not feeling clear about who you are in this business. And that's what it is. So looks like we got enough thumbs up. So I'm coming through clear. This is great. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you an example. If you give me a bunch of ingredients to make a cake, let's say, and you give me all these ingredients, you say, Nathan, you have everything that you need, do it. I am not going to know where to start. I don't know how much flour to put in. I don't even know if I'm putting in baking soda or baking powder or both, and I probably will mix those up. I don't know how to measure all these things, right? I don't know how to just put things together. Even though you've given me everything that I need, what I need in order to know how to use all these tools to be able to make a cake that's or edible. We won't even say delicious. We'll just say that it's edible. Is a recipe. So if I just take these things and I mix them all together, it's going to come out pretty bad. But if I have a recipe, what that does is it takes out the guesswork. It takes out the guesswork and it allows me to be able to repeat that recipe with the tools that I have over and over and over. So the recipe is like the system, right? The simple system. Then that way you have a simple identity. You stop wondering what to do. You start knowing what to do. You start knowing who you are. And then you can move forward with the confidence that in the end, you're going to have a nice, edible, even delicious cake, right? So that's what we're seeing in the industry. That's what we're seeing in USANA. And this is what we're trying to do is really help people have that recipe so that they have the system for success. And who better to do that than one of our top leaders here in the US is Lucy Chen. Now, this is where I get to introduce her. Lucy is number one, she's amazing. She's really great to work with. She has so many accolades within USANA, an active nutrition ambassador, Cellulite skincare ambassador, USANA Entrepreneur Milestone Club, which basically, if you don't know what that is, she's earned over a million commission points in her lifetime as a USANA brand partner. She's a former senior director of finance for a Fortune 500 company. She's a new five-star diamond director as of this year. And she's been recognized in USANA's top 25 growth and top 100 growth leaders for 10 consecutive years. So we have somebody who knows the systems, and she's actually really known for building high-performing teams through clarity, consistency, and simple, duplicable systems. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn the time over to Lucy to talk a little bit more about why it's important to have a system, and then we'll get a little bit after that, we'll get into the how. So Lucy, take it away.
Thank you, Nathan, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. It is truly a pleasure to be here with all of you today. This is Lucy Chen. I'm joining you from Michigan. I have been a USANA brand partner for 17 years. Before USANA, like Nathan mentioned, I was a full-time finance professional working for a Fortune 500 public company. And to be honest, one of the reasons I chose finance was because I was not really a people person. I feel more comfortable working with numbers than working with people. I had no sales background, no business experience, and absolutely no plan to enter the network marketing profession. But 17 years ago, life gave me a wake-up call. My health started to decline, and I ended up in the emergency room. I still remember laying in that hospital bed, looking at the ceiling, and asking myself questions I had never truly asked before. Why am I working so hard? Am I really creating the life I want? Do I have the health, freedom, and the future that I'm working so hard for? And most importantly, will I be able to truly be there for the people I love? That moment forced me to rethink my life. So I started using USANA products simply to improve my health. At that time, I wasn't thinking about the business at all. Did I want to make more money? Of course I did. But honestly, I didn't believe I could build this business. I believe in the product, I believe in the company, but I didn't believe in myself. I told myself, I'm not a salesperson. I don't have a big network. I don't know much people. And I keep wondering, if I want to earn more than my corporate salary, how many people would I have to know? How many products would I have to sell? To me, it seems impossible. So for the first several years, I was simply a happy product user. Then one day, just like many of you are doing today, I attended a USANA business training. And at that training, completely changed my perspective. For the first time, I began to understand what this business really was. And what surprised me most was that it was not as complicated as I thought. For the first time, I told myself, if they can do it, maybe I can too. So over the next 12 years, I committed myself to learning, practicing, and improving a little by little every day. As I grow, I helped others grow. As I learned the system, I helped others follow the system. And step by step, my business and my team continued to grow. Today, I have had the privilege of helping many brand partners create success in their own way. And personally, I have grown from a shy finance professional into a USANA 5-star diamond director. So today I'm not here to share the series. I'm here to share real lessons from my 17-year journey with USANA. And one of the most important lessons I have learned is this: success does not have to be complicated. In fact, the more complicated something is, the harder it is to duplicate. Simple is more powerful, and the simple is duplicable. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today: how to master a simple system to create long-term success. So my hope is that something you hear today will encourage you, inspire you, and help you see this opportunity in a new way. Thank you so much. And are you all ready? Let me know. Let's get started. So when many people first look at the business opportunity, the first question they usually ask are, is the profit margin high? How much can I earn from the products? How much do I make per sale? And honestly, that was exactly how I look at the USANA business in the beginning. If I want to earn the same income as my corporate salary, how many products would I have to sell? How many people would I have to know? And the more I calculated, the more impossible it seemed. So it was easy to conclude, this is too much work for too little money. And that is why many people walk away. But when I really took a deeper look into this business, I began to realize that the real answer was never about selling more. The real answer was about building a system. Great business are not built by one person doing more. They are building by a simple system that ordinary people can also follow and duplicate. So I talk about the business. I think restaurants are a business that all of us are kind of familiar with. So we all eaten at different kind of restaurant before. So here's a question for all of you. Which restaurant do you think is the world's highest grossing and the most profitable restaurant? Take a second and think about it. Here's some choices. A Michelin star restaurant. B, a high-end steakhouse. And C, a luxury fine dining restaurant. Or D, something else in your mind. Yeah, please go ahead and type your answer in the chat.
Lucy, we have some smart people here. I can see the chat. There's
You already get answers?
have a couple McDonald's. We have a fast food. We have high volume, low cost. A D of a franchise, a restaurant chain, a system, fast food, McDonald's again, pizza, fast food,
Wow,
McDonald's,
wow, wow,
Starbucks.
wow, wow, wow. You're all very smart. Looks like we have a lot of great business minds here today. That's great. But have you ever given serious thought to it? Why it's McDonald's? Yes, the answer is McDonald's. But why it's McDonald's? Yeah, the answer is simple. McDonald's did not become one of the most profitable restaurant business in the world because it sells the most expensive food. And it is not because they make a high profit on every sale. The real reason is that McDonald's build one of the most duplicable business systems in the world. Think about a Michelin star or a luxury fine dining restaurant. It may earn far more from a single customer, but it's extremely difficult to duplicate. Its success depends on the chef, depends on the location, depends on the service. But McDonald's is different, right? It's built a system that ordinary people can learn, follow, and duplicate. Think about me. I'm not a chef. I never own a restaurant. I never manage a kitchen. But if I walked into McDonald's restaurant tomorrow, I won't have to guess what to do. The system tells me what to do. The system shows me how to do it, and the system provides me the standards. And that's why ordinary people can produce extraordinary consistency. And if thousands of people can follow the same system in thousands of locations and produce a consistent result, that is where real scale comes from. And that is the power of a system. So when I realized is that when something's simple, it can be duplicated. And when it can't be duplicated, it can expand. When it can expand, it can scale. And when it can scale, extraordinary results becomes possible. That's why McDonald's become one of the most profitable restaurant business in the world, right? So the real power is not in the burger. The real power is in the system behind the burger. So here's the formula. The system creates duplication. The duplication creates expansion, and expansion creates results. So let me ask you another question. If McDonald's is number one, so which restaurant do you think is the second highest grossing restaurant in the world? You can type your answer in the chat.
Okay, we got KFC. Rhonda says KFC. Evelyn says Dairy Queen, IKEA, Taco Bell,
IKEA is
A&W, Starbucks,
okay.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
We
The
got
answer
someone
is
said it. Said it.
the answer is the Starbucks. All right. So it looks like we have some business mind here today. And the next question is, which one do you think is the third highest grossing restaurant in the world? Do you guys know? You want to take a guess? You can also type your answer in the chat.
We have some Panda. We have In-N-Out, Burger King,
That's
Taco
great.
Bell, KFC, Dunkin' Donuts, another
That's
Burger
great. We're
King.
getting close. Yeah, the answer is chicken fillet. Now, do you notice something interesting? They sell different products, different foods, but they all have one thing in common. They all build on systems, simple duplicate systems. And that is why they can grow from one location to thousands of locations, and they can generate sales and profit from all these locations. So that realization completely changed the way how I look at the business. For the first time, I stopped asking, how much can I make from one sale? And I start asking very different questions. Can ordinary people duplicate this system? Because if the answer is yes, the potential becomes far bigger than anything one person can accomplish alone. So the McDonald's business and the USANA business may look completely different on the surface, but underneath, they're built on the same principle. For McDonald's, the formula is simple. Duplicate more location, serve more customers, so generate more income. For USANA, the principle is exactly the same. First, learn, follow, and duplicate a proven system. Then, help more brand partners to learn and duplicate the same system. Together, serve more customers, create more impact, and generate more income. The vehicle is different, but the principle is the same. So duplication creates growth, and the growth creates scale, and the scale creates results. And that is when I had a breakthrough. I realized that compared to McDonald's, USANA actually offers some significant advantage for people like me. It doesn't require big capital. It isn't limited by location. It isn't restricted by operating hours. And thanks for today's technology, it can be built from virtually anywhere. But what excited me the most was possibility. For the first time, I feel that building a business may actually be possible for someone like me, because I saw a simple system that I could actually learn, follow, and duplicate. And if I can do it, maybe other people can do that too. And that changed everything for me. I stopped looking at USANA as just a product business. I started seeing it as a system that allows thousands of ordinary people to create extraordinary results together. So the next slide is, as I continued learning and growing in this business, I realized something important. Most people spend their lives selling products only, trading time for money and working harder to earn more. And here's nothing wrong with that. But the challenge is that the results depends entirely on you. If you stop, the growth often stops. A system is different. A system allows you to help other people succeed. A system creates leverage. A system multiplies effort. And over time, a system can continue growing beyond any one individual. That's why I believe one of the greatest assets we can build is not just income. It is a system. The products create sales, but the system creates growth. The products generate income, but systems create leverage. Looking back, that is what changed everything for me. I no longer saw USANA as simple as a way to earn extra income. I began to see it is an opportunity to build something bigger than myself, a business, a community, a system. One that allows ordinary people to create extraordinary results together. And in the end, that is what I believe leadership is really about. Not just building success for yourself, but building a system that helps others to succeed long after you are gone. So build the systems, create legacy. Nathan, I get this back to you.
Yeah, awesome. So, Lucy, that was amazing. And honestly, you just showed the importance of why having a system is so important. So we really went into the why, and you've already got some awesome, amazing, thank you, those things. I want you to react with a fire emoji if something shifted for you today. It doesn't have to be something new, but maybe something just clicked a little bit different than how you understood it before. And while we see all these fire emojis coming in, a triple fire emoji even, this is great. We're gonna also kind of see where we're standing right now, and then we're gonna go into the how. Okay, I think Lucy, like I said, you painted a great picture of why we need to have this system. So many fire emojis and a maple leaf even. So we got all the emojis. Heart on fire. This is great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so while we are putting in our emojis or while we're into the chat, I want you to drop a one, two, or a three. I'm going to tell you what one, two, and three is. So, one would be if you feel that you connect with the products more than the business opportunity, put a one. For a two, if you believe in it, but you don't always know what to say. And then number three, if you know a system or you have a system and you're here to sharpen that edge. Just want to see where everybody's at. And there's no right or wrong answer. And we got a lot of ones. We got a lot of twos. We have some threes. Someone's a one, two, and a three. They're going by so fast. So I think I'm seeing mostly ones and twos, and there's a few threes in there as well. So here's what we're going to do with the next section is we wanted to, instead of having Lucy tell you how she does it specifically, we wanted to open it up and we wanted to have a Q&A session so that we can get questions answered and Lucy can share her experiences from what she's built up to this five-star diamond business, but have it be not necessarily I did XYZ to make you feel like you have to do XYZ as well, but give you the tools and the understandings of how she did it so you can then flip that into what you're already doing or what you want to do or figure out what it is, right? Like I said, we have a lot of ones, we have a lot of twos, and we even have some threes too. So let's move on to the next section. So for this Q&A, like I said, this is going to be content that Lucy's shared from her real experience. And one thing I want to make sure that we emphasize is that we avoid the income claims. You want to stick to our story, stick to the system, and that will keep you safe. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to start off by asking a question. Now, I mentioned before we're going to be talking about enroll, retain, duplicate, those three aspects. So this first section, we're going to focus mostly on enroll and questions about enroll. Now, this is going to be finding people, starting conversations, extending invitations, that whole process. And I'm going to start off by asking the question. And as you come up with questions, if you put it in the chat, you can put it to everyone and they can see it. You can put it only to the hosts and panelists so that I can see it and we won't say your name. Or if you put it in the Q&A, we can find it there as well. But feel free to type in your questions and we'll try to get to them. I doubt we'll be able to get to all of them just because we have so many people, but we'll try to, get the questions that are similar and get as many questions as we can answered for you. So, Lucy, I'm going to ask you first, where do you find potential brand partners or preferred customers? That's a question that I get so often.
That's a great question. I usually focus on three groups of people. People we know, people we track, people we meet. First, for people we know, this does not only mean close friends or families. It also includes coworkers, neighbors, parents at school, people from church, gym friends, social circle, and people we naturally interface with every day. Many of them may already be looking for better health, more energy, weight management, a healthier lifestyle, or personal growth or additional income. And the second group are the people we attract. I always share with my team that we do not build this business by chasing people. We build this by serving people and creating value. And one of the strategies we use is that we call our dual C strategy, which are online communities and offline communities. That is also one of the USANA's core value, community. So for online, we have communities focused on healthy living, nutrition and wellness, skincare, weight management, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship. And this year, we started our 1,000 Points Club, which is a business mentorship community. Inside these communities, we share education, solutions, practical tips, supports, and real-life experiences. And when people constantly receive a value and the support, they became inviting the families and friends, and then friends invite even more friends. Eventually, that creates a healthy ecosystem where value leads to trust, and the trust leads to relationships, and the relationship leads to growth. That is how many of our preferred customers and the brand partners are naturally emerge. At the same time, we build offline community as well, including local sport parties, running group, dance fitness group. We even have a Tai Chi group and some community gatherings. So people don't just connect through information, but experiences as well. So these activities gives people opportunity to build real relationships in a natural and enjoyable environment. Additionally, of course, social media is another powerful way to attract people. When you constantly share your healthy journey, customer success stories, healthy lifestyle tips, and even the lessons you have learned, and every post is an opportunity to educate, inspire, and build trust. People will begin to know you and trust you. Then we can guide them into the right online and offline communities based on their needs and interests. And the third is people we meet. Go where people are. Put ourselves in an environment where we can meet new people, like community events, fitness centers, wellness workshop, parents group, or even entrepreneurial groups, or even some social media groups. I also encourage a simple 2-a-day habit. Meet someone new, start conversation, understand a need, create value, or invite them into the community. So to me, the real question is not, where can I find enough people? The real question is, do I have a system that helps new people to get to know me every day? I hope that's helpful, Nathan.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer, and you gave a lot of examples of what people can do to start that conversation, right?
Mhm.
I see another conversation came in, or excuse me, a question came in. How do you naturally start a business conversation?
Wow, that's another good one. I believe the best business conversation don't start with business. They start with people. So I often follow and also teach my team one simple approach. Ask first, listen second, and share third. Ask questions like, how have you been lately? What's keep you so busy these days? What goals are you working towards? If you could improve one area of your life, what would it be? Then I will listen carefully for their needs. Sometimes people mention stress, low energy, weight concern, job frustration, wanting extra income, or wanting more flexibility. So when I hear a need that's connect with something our products, community, or business can help with, I simply share from my own experience a story or something of value. For example, I may say, I used to feel the same way. Would you be open to hearing what has helped me? Or that's actually one of the reasons I get involved with USANA. Or If there were opportunity that could positively impact both your health and your finance needs, would you be open to taking a look? If they're open, then I may use the McDonald's example to help them understand the similarity between a traditional franchise system and the USANA's business system, as well as the advantage of low overhead and the flexible business model. I hope that answers the question.
Awesome. Okay, the next question I see here is how do I know whether someone's a better fit to be a preferred customer or to be a brand partner?
I do not usually judge people or make a decision for people. My role here is to help them understand both options clearly. Then I encourage them to look at their own goals, needs, and priorities and decide which path makes the most sense for them. But people can change. Some people may choose to start as a PC, preferred customer, and that's just perfectly okay. It doesn't mean they will never become a brand partner. Once they start using the product, at the very least, it gives us an opportunity to continue following up, serving them, and getting to know each other better. So continue building the trust and the relationship. The goals and the needs may change over time. In fact, that's exactly what happened on me. And I haven't seen this happen many times. So the key is not to label people too quickly. The key is to provide clarity, respect where they are, and keep the relationship open.
That's great. And Natalie mentioned this in the comments as well, but with the last two questions, it's really about asking questions. I mean, it sounds like you want to help them feel heard and help them feel like you are really listening and really care about them. So that's a good pickup, Natalie. The next question, now this is one I didn't see this come in, but this is one that I see all the time or that I hear all the time is, as you're talking with someone and they say, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or I'm not a salesperson. Like, how do you respond in those situations?
Well, these are very common concerns. And I usually respond with what I call the yes, but approach. Yes, I understand how busy you are. Life is full of responsibilities, work, family, children, bills, and commitments. Yes, I understand money may be tight. Many people don't feel they have extra money to start something new. And yes, I understand you may not see yourself as a salesperson. I did not either. My background was in accounting. I worked mostly with numbers, not sales. But then I ask a few honest questions. If you are always busy, is that business giving you a freedom and a choice you truly want? If money is a concern today, do you want that situation to stay the same forever? What I discovered after taking a close look at USANA is that many successful people did not start with more money, more time, or more experience than anyone else. They develop those things along the journey. If time is the concern, many people begin part-time, use evening, weekends, or small pocket for free time. If money is the concern, the truth is that USANA actually doesn't require any money to start with. I will give you more detailed information on that. If sales is the concern, remember that most people start with no experience. This business is less about selling and more about sharing, serving, building the relationship, and helping people solve the problems. Those are the skills anyone can learn. So I usually ask, if this opportunity could help you create more time, more income, and more skills in the future, would it be worth learning more? Most people will say yes. That's why I encourage people not to decide too quickly, but take time to understand it first. If it makes sense, start small and grow at your own pace. But if not, nothing to lose. You still gained a new perspective. After all, most people don't start fully prepared. They become ready because they started. And I hope that helped answer your question, Nathan.
That's a good point. I like that. And Diane said the same thing. I love it. We're problem solvers. We're helping them solve those problems. Another question that I see here is, how do you follow up without making people feel pressured?
Well, I think that's a good one. To me, follow-up is not about pushing someone to say yes or no. It is about serving, supporting, providing value, and continuing the relationship. So I like to use the formula. It's called the CARE formula, CARE, CARE formula. C stands for connect. Continue building the trust and the relationship. A stands for ask. Ask about their needs, their goals, questions, or concerns. R stands for relate. Share something that connects with their situation. E stands for explore. Invite them to explore the new steps if they are open. So people usually don't feel pressure because you follow up. They feel pressured when they sense that you care more about the results than about them. So my goal is always to make them feel respected, understood, and supported. So I may simply say, I just want to check in and see how you're feeling about what we discussed. No pressure at all. I'm here to answer any questions and support you either way. So when follow-up comes from care, people can feel it. I hope that's helpful, Nathan.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Care, connect, ask, relate, explore. I love that. Hey, you know what? Let's shift gears here a little bit. You know, we've talked a lot about the enrollment part of it. So now we're going to focus on the second step, which is retain. So again, if you have questions, type them in. I know we didn't get to all the questions on that first segment. We've got to move to this next section so we can hit all three of them. I'll start off with this one. Why do you think that so many people who enroll just end up like disappearing shortly afterwards?
Well, I think that's another good one. Um, in my experience, it's usually come down to three things: mindset, belief, and action. First, those people haven't developed the right mindset. Some people approach the USANA business with an employee mindset rather than an entrepreneurial mindset. They work one day and hope to see one day of income. But building a business is more like planting a tree than picking fruit. It takes time, patience, and consistent effort. When they don't see result immediately or experience a few rejection, they become discouraged. But rejection is not failure. It's simply part of the process. The difference between success people and unsuccessful people is not whether they get rejected, but whether they keep moving forward after rejection. So without the right mindset, it is difficult to stay in the business long enough to experience success. And the second, those people haven't developed the right belief. Many people join because they believe in the income potential, but when results don't come right away, they begin to question everything. That is why I believe every success brand partners must develop 3 levels of belief. Believe in the products, believe in the business opportunity, and believe in yourself. Because when your belief is strong, the temporary challenges won't shake your commitment. And third, they haven't developed the right actions. Success is not built on excitement. It's built on consistency. Many people get excited at the event or feel motivated after one training. But when they return to the daily routine, they stop doing the simple activities that create results. They stop using the product constantly. They stop learning. They stop sharing. They stop following up. And eventually they stop growing. Motivation comes and goes, but systems, habits, routines are what keep people moving forward. And consistently doing the simple things that matter the most. And I hope that's answered this question. Also, I want to add something is the mindset determine how long you stay in the game. Belief determine how far you can go, but action determine the result you will achieve. So many people don't lose because of the challenge, but they lose because they give up during the period when they can't yet see the results. So that is why persistency is often more important than talent. And success usually comes to those who stay long enough to see it. Yeah, I hope that provides some value.
Awesome. I like that a lot. Yeah, Barbara said, never give up. Lydia is so true. Yeah. I see a question here, because you talked about the reasons why people might fall off, right? Or go away. So what should a brand new brand partner focus on in their first 30 days?
In my opinion, during the first 30 days, a new brand partner should focus on 4 things. First, know your why. Understand why you started and what you hope to achieve. And second, know where you are and where you want to go. So having a clear destination helps create focus and direction. Third, plug into the system. Success leaves clues, and the fastest way to learn is to follow a proven system. So you don't have to create everything from zero. Fourth, focus on the pace setter program. Take simple daily actions. Start building new connections, sharing your story, and developing the 2-a-day habit. So the goal here for the first 30 days is to gain the clarity, build the right habits, and create momentum. Yeah, because the momentum creates the confidence, and the confidence builds the belief, and the belief drives action. And I hope that answered this question.
I love that. And that this is a question that I am going to ask. I didn't see it in the chat yet. Maybe somebody did put it in, I missed it. But kind of along those lines, a big part of this retain aspect is our subscribe and save program or auto orders, right? So how do you help people develop that consistent product use and really understand subscribe and save or, the auto order program?
Well, that's another great question. And I think that's a big question too. Um, I actually believe this conversation should happen from the very beginning, not weeks or months later, because the mindset matters. I want new brand partners to understand that product use is not just about maintaining volume or qualifying you for commissions. It is about building belief. It is about creating your own product experience. And it is about staying connected to your health and your business. These are the products we can use ourselves to improve our health and daily lifestyle, not simply products we purchase for business purpose. So that is why I often say we are the product of the products. So when people constantly use the products, they are more likely to experience the benefit for themselves. And when they share from their personal experience, the message becomes much more authentic and more powerful. That is why I encourage people to develop consistent product use from the very beginning. So when it's come to auto order, I think it should be explained differently to brand partners and customers because they're looking at it from different perspectives. So for brand partners, I actually like to use the McDonald's examples. If someone wants to become a McDonald's franchise owner, there are usually a few basic requirements. First, you require a franchise fee. A second, there's a cost of opening and operating the restaurant. And the third, there are ongoing requirements to keep the business active and running. Nobody finds that unusual, right? Because that's simply how business works. Now, let's compare that with USANA. I often say that USANA is like a micro franchise. The difference is that the barriers to enter are much lower. There's no large franchise fee, no building to rent, no employees to hire, and no need to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started. In fact, many people can start simply by becoming a customer and using the product themselves. And just like every business has a system that helps it operate consistently, USANA has a system that helps brand partners to stay active and engaged. So one of those systems is subscribe and save, or we call auto order. But personally, I don't see auto order as a requirement. I see this as a tool because the real goal isn't about auto order. The real goal is consistency. Consistent product use creates product experience. Product experience builds belief, and the belief gives people the confidence to share their story with others. So auto order is not the goal, but consistency is the goal. So auto order is a simple tool that helps make consistency easier. So that's for the brand partners. And for customers, however, the conversation is a little different because most customers, They are not thinking about building a business. They are thinking about improving their health and get the best value of their money. So I usually explain to the preferred customers in this way. Subscribe and save, give your an additional 10% discount. And it's completely flexible. And you can adjust, change, or cancel it at any time. So it is not about buying more products. It is about making it easier to stay consistent. Because most health goals are not achieved by doing something right once in a while. They are achieved by constantly doing the right thing over time. So auto order helps make sure people don't run out of the products they are already use and enjoying. So it helps prevent interruptions in a routine and allows them to experience the full benefit of consistent product use. So overall, auto order is not really about placing an order. It is about creating consistency. And whether we're talking about health or business, long-term results are usually created by long-term consistency. And I hope that's helpful for everyone.
Yeah, I like that. And I like the comparison that you made too about, it's really not, it's not necessarily a requirement. It's something that helps build that consistency. I love that aspect of it. Okay, and this actually came in a bunch of different ways, and this is the last one that we'll do under this retain section. Some people asked about you specifically, and some people asked about how you do it with your team. But in general, how do you help people, or how did you, when you were kind of first beginning, how do you help people build confidence, belief, and value in the beginning?
I believe confidence and the belief come from four areas: believe in the products, believe in the business, believe in the company, and most importantly, believe in themselves. So first, I will help them to use the product properly so they can create their own personal experience. So when people feel a difference for themselves, the product belief becomes stronger. And the second, I guide them through a pace setter program so they can take simple actions, create small wins, and understand how the business works in a practical way. As we start making collections, share the story, and helping others, they believe in the business began to grow. And the third, I will encourage them to plug into the system, leverage the USANA incentive trips, the trainings, the team cultures, and the personal development. This experience help people strengthen their belief and increase their sense of value. And finally, the most important belief is the belief in themselves. As people grow in product belief, business belief, and company belief, they begin to realize something very important. If other people can do it, maybe I can do that too. So to me, the confidence is not built by overnight. It's growth through action, support, small wins, and personal transformation. So that is why I focus on helping people taking simple actions early, creating small wins, and build belief one step at a time.
I like that. And I think for some of those individuals who are on this call who maybe don't have a team yet that they're starting to help build belief, those are the things that you can do as well to start building that belief and the confidence in yourself. And then you'll have that system ready so that way you can start to do that for your new people as they're coming in as well. So I think that's a great answer, and you can use it for yourself and you can use it for your team as well.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Now we're going to switch over. We're going to move to the duplicate. We'll see how long we might have time for just a couple questions. but we'll see. Your answers have been very thorough, and and I think it's really, really good because it's helping us get good examples on how we can implement these into our businesses without saying do this, this, and this. It's more, the hows, but in a generic way where we can kind of pick how we want to include it. So for the duplicate, now this is how do you help people learn to build their own teams? And I'll start by asking a question. What do you think are the most important duplication activities to teach a new brand partner?
I think for the new brand partner, the most important activities are use the products, share your story, invite people to take a look, and follow up with care. Plug in the system and teach others to do the same. So duplication works when people can repeat simple actions constantly. So I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Use the product, share your story, invite, follow up, get them in the system, and teach them how to do it. So we're basically doing the enroll, retain, duplicate. We're following that system just in a few more steps. Okay, how do you turn a complex business into a simple, repeatable system?
Well, that's a great question. I actually like to explain this with the McDonald's example. McDonald's didn't become one of the world's most successful business because it sells the most expensive burgers, right? Or earn the highest profit per sale. Its success comes from turning a complicated restaurant business into a simple, standardized, systematic model that can be duplicated. Because of that system, the ordinary people in different cities, countries can follow the same process and produce a similar customer experience. So I believe building a USANA business works in a similar way. So if we only focus on how much profit we can make from selling each single product, then our growth will always limit to one order at a time. That's a linear growth. But when we focus on building a simple duplicate system, we can help develop many brand partners who can build a business in different cities, states, and countries around the world. So the more people we help become successful, the more successful our own business becomes. So that is the power of duplication and exponential growth. That is why we focus on three key areas: enrolling people, retaining people, and duplicating people, right? So then we simplify. We also do the simplify, systemize, and standardize every important activities in the business, which including where to meet the new people, how to share your personal story, how to introduce USANA, how to introduce the product, the opportunity, how to conduct an effective OPP, right? How to follow up and serve customers, and how to handle common objections, and how to help new brand partners duplicate the systems. That is why we use tools such as videos, presentations, flyers, and communities. I have learned that the skills are often difficult to duplicate, but the tools are much easier to duplicate. So when the tools and the steps are simple and clear, more people can follow them. Yeah, of course, everyone brings their own personalities, stories, and strengths. The systems provide structure, and the person brings uniqueness. That's why we duplicate the system, not the personality. So to me, the real value of this business is not just selling products. It's developing people through a simple system that can be duplicated.
I like that.
Yeah, I hope that provides some value.
Yeah, that's really good. A couple questions that came in as well. I know Lydia asked us like, what qualities do you think as a leader but I think it's also kind of a couple other came in that said, how do you know when someone is ready to start building their own team?
Um, how do I know when someone is ready to build a team is I usually look at a few key signs. First, they understand the why. And the second, they have developed the belief. And the third, they are willing to learn and follow the system. And they can take simple actions constantly, consistently. And the fourth, they care about helping people and they are willing to be accountable. So to me, leadership is not about managing people. Leadership is about creating more leaders. So when someone is starting taking ownership, supporting others, and helping others grow, that is a strong sign they are ready to begin building their own team. I hope that's answered your question.
Yeah, I like that. All right. We have time for one more question. And I see one here. It's actually, this one's a really good one. So, and I'm going to kind of customize a little bit, but as people are trying to create their own system or there's that whole duplication, what do you see are like the top three mistakes, the biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to start their duplication system?
Yeah, we all understand the importance of duplication, but there are um, several common mistakes that can slow down the growth and limit the results. So the three big mistakes in duplication, I will say the first mistake is not having a clear duplication path. Duplication is like make a copy of a document, right? If there's no clear original, it's difficult to make an accurate copy. So many people know they should duplicate, but they don't know exactly what to duplicate or in what order. So without a clear path, duplication becomes confusion and difficult. And the second biggest mistake is making things too complicated. Many people think that more information means more professionalism, but as a result, too much information can overwhelm new people and they don't know where to start. So the biggest enemy of duplication is complexity. So only what is simple can be duplicated and only what is duplicable can create exponential growth. And the third mistake is I do see a lot of people, they're trying to duplicate themselves instead of the system. Some leaders achieve great results because they have a strong communication, they have a strong sales or leadership skills. Many leaders expect others to do exactly the same way they do. But everyone has different strengths, different personality, background, and communication skill. So if success depends only on individual talents instead of a simple system, it becomes difficult for others to duplicate. The key is to duplicate the system, not the person. So when people can use the system in a way that fits their own personality, they are more likely to take action, stay consistent, and create values. I hope that's helpful.
Lucy, that definitely is helpful. Everybody, and there were some people in there that said, this is great, super advice, very valuable. Duplicate the system, not the personality. That's awesome. With all three of these things, Lucy, you just, over the last, 40 minutes, you gave us I mean, this is Life Masters master class. You just gave us a master class on how to set up a system properly. So let's everybody in the chat give Lucy a fire or a heart or a thumbs up or whatever it is. because that was some great information, setting it up, the why, and also all that about the how. So thank you so much, Lucy. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Um, as we are kind of wrapping up today, I just want to reiterate this. Like Lucy gave us a lot, like real answers from her experience in building this business. Now we're just going to tie it together again, back to this circle, these three things of enroll, retain, duplicate. This is the system. This is the system that you can follow. Now, I'm going to show, oh, we had people talking about care. You know, they're saying they love that care. A lot of great feedback. So I'm going to show instead of having this circle or having it be just in the squares, this is like we're looking at 90 days. This is what that looks like. The enroll phase. There's two different enroll phases, and the goal within these enroll phases is just to get a couple new brand partners. So when you're the first 4 weeks of the 90 days, get two brand partners. The second 4 weeks of the 90 days, get two more brand partners. And as you're doing that, you're helping with the retain and the duplicating, basically for, from weeks 4 through 13. And if this looks kind of familiar, if you've heard of the Power Four concept, this is another way that we've looked at that. So, if it doesn't turn out exactly like this, that's totally fine. Maybe you get an enrollment of a brand partner in week 10. That's okay. It can be a little bit different, but this is something that we can focus on and we can help. And as we're looking for those brand partners, we're going to get customers. We're going to get affiliates. Those things are going to come, those customer types, those individuals, they're going to be coming in. But our goal, our ultimate goal is to help find brand partners because we know customers and affiliates can come in during that time as well. So this is it. This is the system in like a timeline in a 13-week period. And again, it's just these three things: enroll, retain, duplicate. And it's not, trying to do everything all at once. It's creating a rhythm. It's creating a system. It's staying consistent over that long period of time, as Lucy had talked about before. So we're talking about this 90-day cycle. Obviously, the first 90 days for new brand partners, it's to get Pacesetter. That's the goal, right? Get Pacesetter, help them set up their business so they can earn matching bonus. It launches the momentum. Any other 90-day cycle after that, it's not the Pacesetter status, although we do have opportunities to second chances to qualify as Pacesetter. But in general, it's going to grow your business. If you're doing this, it gives you moral authority. And when I say moral authority, I love that because what that means is if I'm doing these 90-day cycles, and if I'm bringing people in as we showed just a couple slides ago, where I have those two people in the first 4 weeks, the two people in the second 4 weeks, I work on helping them get on their subscribe and save and helping them duplicate. Then when I get a new person, I'm already doing the system that I'm asking my new person to do. So I have that moral authority to say, hey, I'm not just telling you to do this, I'm doing this as well. And is it going to be perfect? It's not going to be perfect. And it's never going to be perfect, but it's going to get better and better and better. And we'll find ways that we can improve it. And it allows us to be able to lead from the front. So that's what I love about having these 90-day cycles in this 90-day system. So now what I want to do is turn to the workbook. We're going to make it real now. So it's not necessarily homework. I'm not going to give you homework, but we covered so much today. We covered the why. We talked about the system a lot. We talked about the 90-day map, that 13-week map. And now hopefully you have your workbooks, or hopefully you're maybe been taking notes in the workbooks because it's followed along really well with what we've covered. On the last page of this section in the workbook, there's a section that says My 90-Day Action Plan. And if you go there, we're going to start to fill that in. And we're going to start it together because right now I feel like we have high energy, right? It's fresh. We're feeling motivated. So we're going to start taking action on that right away. And what I want you to do very first, and I want you to do it right now. Now, if you don't have the workbook, use your notes app. Use whatever note taker you're using, or if it's just a good old-fashioned pen and paper, write it there. But I want you to write down the name of the first person that you're going to have the business conversation with. If you're in the workbook, it's under the enroll section. And it's the question about who you'll commit to talking to with about the USANA opportunity. Write down the name of that first person. If you want to add more later, you can. We're just trying to get the first person in. You don't have to do 20, and don't say I'll think about it. We're going to start taking action right now. And there's a question that came in with the activities that they do. So let's look at the left column, right? We have a full daily checklist. As Lucy mentioned, building belief in the products, building belief in their stuff. Those are things that are really important. And those are things that maybe she has on her checklist. But if you look at this, you have exercise. Maybe you choose to exercise in a group setting where you'll be able to connect with people. So it falls under connect. Contact upline, connect. Engage and follow up. Obviously, that's follow up. Share value, that's share. Invite, that's share. Help and support, that's follow up. I mean, all of these activities can come back to any one of these three categories. Okay, so in that next section, again, fill in what those three things that you're going to do daily, your daily three, to help you grow your business. Okay, now, if it feels too much, again, to have that list like it is on the left, focus on connect, share, follow up, right? That we want to keep it simple, but you can also add more details into it as well when you're ready. And I like actually, Lucy already mentioned this, like you don't have to feel ready to get started. You have to get started to then get like you're feeling ready. Okay. And I didn't say it. Lucy, you said it so much better than I just did. I was going to tell you that. But for those of you earlier when we did the one, two, or the three, you know the products. I can't remember what the other two are, but you had a one, you had a two, or you had a three. You connected with the business, or excuse me, with the products more than the business, or you believed in it, but you didn't always know what to say. Those are the ones or the twos. Um, Here's what I want you to know. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. Okay. You just get started. And as you get started, then you'll start to feel more comfortable with it, just as Lucy said earlier. So again, to reiterate, this is who we are. This is the system that you are. Enroll, retain, duplicate over a 90-day period, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. Just continue to repeat that. And Lucy gave us great information on how we can do that. Okay, so start right now. In the chat, if you drop one thing, what's the first connect? What's the first share? What's the first follow up that you're going to do this week? Not just like some time, but put it in there so that way we can be held accountable, right? We can say, this is what I'm going to do, and people will be able to see it. And then if we see somebody that we know that posts something, let's follow up and just say, hey, how is this going? Lucy talked about the importance of questions and asking questions. And it's great when we're in the process of enroll, we're in the process of retain and duplicate, but it's also great in the building up of each other. So ask those questions, like maybe be a little bit scared, maybe be a little bit uncomfortable, maybe be a little bit vulnerable. And that's where the growth is going to happen. Okay. And as you're doing that, I'm going to leave this up here, but really, again, it's about building something simple. Let's see. I'm going to read a couple of these. We have connect. We have connect and follow up with contacts who want personalized spa event with their friends and family. Then my master aesthetics course. Awesome, Barbara. That's very specific. I love that. Follow up with the client on the products. Thank you. That's great, Maria. Diane, follow up. Barbara, connect. Share my successes. Share the business opportunity to my new PC. These are great. These are great. Awesome. Okay. Everybody, we appreciate your time. We're coming up on the time. What I want you to do is just a couple minor housekeeping